Hello and welcome to Drive Facebook Live. I'm Tony Whistler and this is my good friend Bill Escalillo. Hey Bill, how's it going?
Great, Tony. How's it going?
It's going great. We have a wonderful show today. We have a good friend of mine, Larry Monroe of Drive, and he is a workshop instructor and he is also our certification guru. So, hey Larry, how's it going?
Well, I'm doing good. As I usually say on Friday, I'm above ground. I have a pulse, so that's a good start.
Made it to Friday.
That's right. That's right.
So the reason we have you on the show today is because we want to talk about the expo. We have an expo coming up, of course. It's 24th through the 26th of September. And I couldn't imagine a better guest to talk about the expo than you, Larry, because if I'm not mistaken, you've attended every expo that we've ever done. Is that correct?
I think that's true. Even the first one, I was not officially there. Bob Spitz was running it, and but I was there with my wife, and she was going to a convention. It happened to be in the same hotel, so I just walked across the hall and showed up. So
So
yeah,
then you're
I've pretty much been there every time.
so your record is 100% then.
I think so. I
Yeah.
Yeah,
think so.
sounds like he's batting 1,000.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's
Maybe
very good.
maybe 998, but pretty close to it.
It's still
Yeah,
pretty good. Somebody,
exactly.
somebody will get you on their team. That's for sure with that
That,
kind.
that's right.
Yeah.
So I have been attending expos since 2017. So I've only been to a few by comparison. Bill, you've been to one, right?
Yes, sir. Last year.
Last year, yeah. So one of the things I wanted to ask Larry is what do you think is the salient thing about an expo that's beneficial to clients?
Well, that's a big question. I'll try to boil it down to, bullet points. First of all, you get to show up and visit with people just like you who have been in the trenches, meeting the challenges that are part of this industry, but a whole bunch of them have won the battles. They are very successful. They've been through it. They've been through versions of what you're going through right now. Uh, so it's a time to talk and listen. There's all sorts of amazing networking going on. Some of it's just unofficial and at your table or in the hallways, and then we have networking sessions that are magical. And we've got every kind of shop you can imagine, small and large. We've got collision shops, we've got transmission shops, we've got general repair shops, we've got truck shops, and probably the biggest topic that goes on is the one mystery. It seems like a mystery until you get further into the drive program, is how to handle these humans. I mean, there's probably only about 100,000 ways a car or a truck can be broken, but humans, they come in all sizes and shape, and they're all, they have all kinds of IQ and literacy, and some are just wonderful, and some of them are a mystery, and yet they are your customers. We have this unique industry where we actually invite people to come to us with their problems so we can charge them money to solve them.
That's
And it
all.
just and they've been, it's been on forever, ever since that first car, I think, was created by Benz back in the 1800s. There's always been need of really good technicians and mechanics and shops, and Drive are the best. And you come to the expo, you get the best of the best. You get to see folks that are just like you, and they may be a couple of steps ahead of you, but they have answers and they have stories. And by just coming to the expo, you may learn something that so you can avoid a bullet or avoid stress and learn how to handle those humans that are working for you
Right.
and that are actually coming to your door as customers.
Yeah, I love how you said there's a limited amount of things that can go wrong with a car, but with a human being, I thought you were going to say an infinite amount of broken things.
Pretty close, pretty close. And you know,
Definitely.
I'm the old dog of Drive. I'm older than anybody else, and you know, the human race has been changing ever since I was a kid, and it's just when I think I figured out most of them, another one shows up on my screen, or I hear the story from a shop owner. But we have solutions. We do.
Yep. Yep. I agree. And I would also add to that that just by survey alone, we know that most of our clients find the interaction with other shop owners as one of the highlights of the weekend because you know, being a business owner, it doesn't matter if you're running a bakery or you're running an automobile repair shop. If you're a business owner, that can be a somewhat isolating thing to have happen because you're not going to build like deep friendly relationships with your employees. You want to be nice, you want to be friendly, but you know that you're their boss and you have to maintain a professional decorum. And so you don't have people that are your peers that you can talk with, right? And so that's one of the things I just love about the expo and about Drive in general is that you've got a group of owners that rely on each other, help each other, and get to see each other once a year in at Westgate or wherever we're having the expo that year, and they can talk and enjoy each other's company, and they're also kindred spirits, right?
Right. It's interesting. It's an interesting point you make because first of all, everybody who's watching and that is part of this game, give yourself a high five because this is a magic industry that thrives on helping others. And you don't see that necessarily in all places on our planet. But here, you folks are amazing. And, you know, one of the biggest jobs we have is convincing you how priceless your help is and your knowledge is. And it's okay to charge a little bit of money for that because you are solving problems of people's lives. You're an amazing group of people, and that's why I'm still here because I love working with you. And you know, it's an industry that's getting better, and the image is improved. And when you show up, and there's a whole bunch of other shop owners, and they've been through some of the things you've been through, you don't feel quite as embarrassed to confess to some of your confusions or, you know, the trips and falls down the stairs that you made, you know, figuratively or literally. They're just like you. And you can relax, you can breathe, and you go, oh God, you know, I don't feel so bad. This guy made the same mistake I made last week, you know? So it's just, you're welcome to the club. You're coming to talk to people and hang out with people just like you and get a little breathing area, relax, and learn some magic.
Beautiful. Very nice.
I'll say, Larry, we already have a lot of people watching. A lot of people are saying hello to you, and I'm going to do a couple of shout outs already because the list is already starting to get long early in the program. Uh, Dennis Goodhue saying hello. John
Oh, yeah.
Starkey saying hello.
Oh,
Mark
yeah.
Random saying hello. And he's saying, preach it, Larry, because you've definitely been there and done that. I'd love to ask you a question. This year we're at the expo, obviously 24th through the 26th. Walk me through what a typical day can look like there for the people who don't understand what it's like. I know we're there for a couple days, 3 days or so. This year it's going to be a little bit longer because we have things like the go-karts and stuff, but in the Top Golf. But, walk me through what a normal day looks like and what they should expect.
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is drive in on a golf cart and wave at everybody and try not to run them down. No, not really.
With
But
security, of course, right?
that's right. That's right. I'm going to have a bass guitar player right next to me, and he's going to swing his axe at my head if I do anything wrong.
Shameless plug for
That's some hip
Tony.
music lingo there, Larry.
That's right. Oh, that's right. His axe is his guitar. But see, you know who we're talking about here. He actually
Yes.
knew what that word was, so he showed his hand. No, I mean the main thing that I think of to start with is when I walk into the expo, I see my friends. You know, instead of these little electronic boxes that we seem to live in throughout the year, I see people. I see husbands and wives. Some of them have their kids, and I love them. And as I mentioned, I'm from the Midwest, so and you know, if you're in my path, I'm warning you, I'm going to hug you. And if you look like you're nervous, I'll hug you more because there's one way to get used to hugs is more hugs. But I mean, that's the game. Get to see each other. I love it. And you know, I've never been accused of being kind of a quiet guy, but I just light up. I'm like a battery of this magical energy of people that we work together with and we can help. And that's the first thing. You start seeing each other. You might have seen their face on one of my workshops or one of our master workshops. And just the conversation just ramps up. And that's the first thing. You know, it's like buddies that you haven't seen in a while, and all of a sudden, bam, you know, you're starting that relationship or that dialogue that you started in a workshop or maybe in another expo. Immediately the energy goes up, the communication goes up, and you know, the help kicks in immediately. You know, it's just, and that's the spirit of the expo from the beginning to the end. There's always somebody to talk to. There's always a question to be answered, or that you can answer for someone else. It's a balancing act. And you know, this industry is changing all the time, and yet we're staying ahead of the game. We are a cutting edge group, and whether it's how to fix that Mopar that you managed to get into the shop, or Peterbilt, or you know, some other esoteric car that ends up in your shop, there's stories, there's answers.
Very cool. So one of my favorite things about the expo is the awards dinner.
Yeah.
And I would love to get your take on your experiences at the awards dinner, because you've been to more than a few of them, and you're also very instrumental in helping to make sure that the people that get their awards actually got their awards. They did the crossed the T's and dotted the I's. And so tell us a little bit about your experience with the awards dinner.
Well, the whole process of the awards, which many of you know about, some of you it's new to you. We know how hard you work, and you may not be getting these recognitions from your customers except for your reviews, and a lot of you have great reviews. But we early on recognized the need to acknowledge folks that are just knocking it out of the park, and because most of you are kind of shy and retiring. You're not somebody that shouted from the rooftops, unless you're John Starkey or Kevin Reichert. And, you know, that's everybody knows what I mean on those guys. But
John's watching, you know.
Yeah, I know. I know. I'll get payback when I get to the expo.
We haven't seen Kevin yet, but I imagine we may.
Yeah.
He may show up in a minute.
He may show up in a minute.
He's probably getting a pizza or a hot dog someplace. But
he is a foodie.
Yeah, he really is. But the awards give you people that are working hard in the trenches the chance to be acknowledged by your peers. And all I do is, you know, I look at the evidence. You guys submit it. We've got a little project. We've got a system of checklists that you follow, and you upload it to the software. And first of all, your coach looks at it, you know, before I ever go near it. They're the ones that are the gatekeeper on a lot of this stuff. Just like, okay, well, you're not quite there yet, you know, go back. But eventually, so many of you do tick the boxes and you achieve so many levels of success with your teams. And part of it, I've got stories, but I have one, and
love to hear it.
I'm not going to name his name, but he's only been on the program for a few months, and he had the light bulb turn on early in the game. He said, okay, if I'm going to pay for this program, I'm going to do it. I'm going to follow what my coach says. I'm going to use the tools from the workshops. and I'm going to do it. And, you know, I tease them. I'm known for poking the bear on occasion. And he was not exactly Mr. Cheerful when he came on my workshops. But that's because the shop is like, you know, it's like a bear in itself. And all of a sudden, we give him solutions to apparent impossible problems, and they're not there. And his stress level goes down. But the important thing, in the few months he's been on the program, he's doubled his income.
Beautiful.
Why? Why? Because he's used the program. He followed his coach. His coach is the magical Kim, and he knows he better do what she says. She's a mom, and then he applies the tools he learns in the workshops. And so he is using his toolbox, but he's getting results. And I bust his chops because he's actually smiling now.
That's beautiful. I love those stories. Now, can you just give a little bit of like a quick definition of how our certifications roll, like what they are?
All right. Martha works on the first two stages, and one of them is effective manager, and there's a checklist that goes with it, and it basically ensures you are doing the things necessary to be effective as a manager, as an owner. And you know, many of you, when you come on, that can be a hill to climb, because we're teaching you to be owners. We're teaching you to be business owners, not technicians, not service advisors, not body men, not diagnostics, not transmission men, business owners.
Right.
And so it's kind of like, oh my gosh, what do they have me doing here? It's like another language to many of you, but we teach you the language, and we give you the tools. As you know, effective is the first stage, right? First step. And then if you do that and you pass, you know, you pass the Martha machine, and she's tough. She does that. And you'll have your place on stage. Then we have professional. Now we're tightening things up a little bit, and you're having to do some master workshops and really show what you've got with your team. It's not just a couple of numbers. You actually have to start being efficient. You have to start operating as a team. And lo and behold, whether you resist it or not, you start thinking like a business owner.
Beautiful.
And it's like, oh, but eventually you realize, oh, that didn't kill me. And oh, things are better. you know, that old saying, what if it, if it doesn't kill you, it'll make you better. Something
Make you
like
stronger,
that.
yeah. Make
Yeah.
you stronger.
It will definitely make you stronger. It'll make you smarter. And that's what these programs are about, is working smarter, not harder. I have guys come on the program and I talk to them. You go, oh well, yeah, I really cut my hours down. I'm only on half days, 7 a.m. till 7 p.m. It's like, yeah, we're not there yet. Professional is a big dog in itself, but it really gets you feeling your business owner muscles, right? And it doesn't happen overnight, but you get there. Now the next one is a hill to climb. It's master of shop management, and you have to have a team under you before you're going to get that through. And it's not just dollars, it's not just numbers. You actually have to prove that you've got a team that's working together. And lo and behold, that's not you all the time. You're not necessarily being a technician. You're not being a service advisor. You're being a master of shop management, and you have the numbers to prove it. And it's a tough one, but
And you actually start taking the hats off.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Now, sometimes the coach has to reach through the screen and rip the hat off your head.
From time to time you do, kicking and screaming.
Yeah. But I make the joke. I said, as soon as we get the owner fired off the front counter, they really start making money and instead of giving things away as Father Christmas. So master shop management is a big deal. And we've got some folks that are there, and it didn't happen overnight.
And tying that back to the expo, when we have our certification dinner, we get to hear these stories from these people who have gotten to masters, and their journey is always extremely interesting, and it's touching. And there have been numerous times when I was in those awards where I actually teared up a little bit, because these were life-changing stories, and they told from the person who experienced that story.
Yeah.
And they tell it when they when they win. I just want to say also, Eric is watching, Larry. That's
Hi, Eric.
Reichel's
Yeah,
partner.
he's Kevin's sidekick.
Yeah,
That's
I
right.
know. I saw that. We didn't get Kevin, but we got the next best
We
thing.
got it. We got it. Well,
Well, Eric will probably tell us the real stories in the shop. So, I'm glad he's
Real
there.
stories about Kevin.
That's right. That's right.
Exactly.
Speaking of the backstories, yeah. But yeah, I'm the same thing, Tony. I've been moved many, many times by the stories. And we had one guy that did a great job. He's got a wonderful shop in North Carolina. And it was almost like dragging him to the dentist to get him to do his master checklist. He's a great shop. He's a wonderful shop. But he hates the idea of getting on stage and making a speech. It's only a 10-minute, 5-minute speech. Eventually, his amazing coach, who is the best coach I've ever worked with. She's powerful, she's brilliant, and she's persistent, and it's Carla. She managed to get him to just go through the checklist, and his story was one of those ones that you talked about, Tony, just very moving. It was really from his heart, good old boy from the South, surviving and creating a wonderful business. Now that he's got his family, he's got his daughter working with him. It was
Great.
It was a great story.
And of course, there was a beautiful dinner that night that we all
yeah.
have. Little kind of fancy, not real fancy. We don't expect you to show up in a tuxedo, but it's like nice. There's real silverware and tablecloths, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a nice dinner, and then you get to hear from these guys. It's just a beautiful experience. Hey, why don't we take a commercial break? I think it's time for a commercial break, Phil.
Let's do it. Next week, we're going to hear from Jasmine Acuna from Acuna's Car Care. She's going to go over how her family has built trust in how she's really taken shops to the next level. Also, of course, like we've been talking about all this, it's going to be the Expo in September. It's going to be great. Can't wait to be there. See people getting their awards and all that. So, but hearing from Jasmine next week is going to be great. She's got a good shop over there. Can't wait to hear from her.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's a rock star.
And then, of course, I also want to let everyone know that we do have 4 master workshops that are going to be delivered in person in Vegas the 2 days before the start of the expo. And anybody who's on the program can do those workshops. So feel free to sign up for those. Larry's going to be delivering one of those workshops prior to the expo. And so I want to make sure that that's known. Larry, tell us
Larry, yeah? I would love to ask the question for somebody who's on the fence about coming, because you've been to so many different expos and seen so many different things. What's the one thing you would say that they can get at the expo that they can't get somewhere else? I know it's a tough question, so.
No, not really. First of all, you're out of the shop. There's a certain amount of chaos in the shop that you've lived with for so many years. And there's good energy, and it's a wonderful business that you run, but it's hard to think sometimes when you have all that coming at you. And when you go to the expo, it's like your universe kind of quiets a little bit, because you don't have customers, you don't have technicians, you don't have parts vendors. You just have people that think and talk and walk like you. And it's not so much peaceful as it's energizing. And you won't find that necessarily back at the shop or in your neighborhood. A place where you can actually just think like a shop owner and get straight questions and straight answers. And the energy level for your battery your spiritual, your emotional battery is so high, you'll wonder who you are when you go back. You'll be just,
Yeah.
and and that doesn't happen towards at the end. That's all the way through it. It is like nothing else. It is my favorite thing to do every year. Every year. Not because of all the wonderful people that are there, but just my own. I mean, for instance, was doing research on a presentation that I'm going to be giving, a 1 hour presentation on how to train the younger generation. And I learned so much. I went, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. Because those Gen Zs, 18 to 30, and your millennials, they're a whole different animal. And you don't know how to handle them necessarily, how to train them. Think of yourself like the guy they always show in the circus with the chair and the lion, Well, that's you trying to train your crew and get them to go in the right direction. I learned that with my own research. I love learning for myself so I can share it with everybody else. That's going to be part of it. And that's the basic nature of the expo. Enlightenment, light bulbs in your own head, in others people's head, and just having fun.
Yeah. And there's going to be multiple presentations. You guys can take a look at the schedule on driveshops.com. And I think we'll put a link in the chat. You guys can go check it out. There's going to be a lot of knowledge that's going to be given. Now we got a little bit of time, but I want to talk a little bit about the party that we have. We always have a banger of a party. And this year it's going to be, basically it's sports teams. So very often we have parties and we have themes and then we have cosplay, and a lot of our clients love to dress up for the themes. This time you're just going to have to just come sporting your favorite team's, ball cap and jersey and whatever else you want to wear. And it's going to be sports team themed. But tell us a little bit about some of those experiences, Larry, because I know that you and I have had some experiences at parties.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's why I keep inviting, Tony to bring his guitar, because he's quite the entertainer, and he gets on stage. I mean, there are some sports that I follow. I mean, of course I come from a town that is probably one of the best baseball teams in the United States, second only to the Yankees, and those are the St. Louis Cardinals. We have won more World Series than any other team except for the Yankees. So, you get me started on that. I mean, I actually got to see Stan Musial's last game, and I got stories. But what about that World Cup? I like soccer. I'm an American. I'm a Yankee, and I like soccer, or football, as they call it all around the world, except for the United States. It's not all about. It's not all about. The World Cup, but I was cheering on the two teams that ended, Spain and Argentina.
Yeah.
I wanted Argentina to win, but that's the game. So there's going to be a lot of that going on, and it's not going to be as headbanging as some of the things you saw in the World Cup, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
That'll be great. And that's people always have a great time at that. It's a chance to cut loose and really have a good time. Just so you know, a good friend of Drive, of the Drive Facebook Live, one of our good friends, was in Spain when Spain won. So
oh my gosh,
that was exciting.
That's pretty cool.
Fernando was there.
Oh really? Oh my gosh, I'm jealous.
She's the one that does all the work in the background and makes us look good.
That's right.
I hope you have some clips from those parties, Fernando.
Anyway, so we're getting close to the end. Any final words, Larry, and any last statement that you want to make to try to get people to see the importance of being at an expo?
Yes, it has nothing to do with the Las Vegas Strip. It has everything to do with energizing yourself, not just about your shop, but what this means to your future, your goals, and your family. It's magical.
Beautiful. And any last thoughts, Bill?
No, I agree. You know, I was reading some of the comments and Jesus Vargas said it the best way. He said, it's comforting being around people who live in the same chaos that you do. He
That's
said it
right.
really well. And I was like, you know what?
Exactly.
He's right. He's right.
Yeah, he
Yep.
nailed it. He nailed it.
Yep. Spot
Yep.
on.
And also, just so you guys know, we will be doing Drive Facebook live from Westgate during the expo.
Yes.
So on that
Yes.
Friday, which is always a blast, we'll have some like in-person interviews and it'll be really fun. And it looks like we have ran out of time. Larry, it's always such a quick show when you're on the show, my friend.
Yes.
That's
It
because I
just goes
talk
like
so
it
much.
goes so
Goes so
fast. No,
fast.
it is such a great show. We were so
So
happy
fast.
to have you on the show. Thank you so much.
All right.
And I want to thank Bill for you being here. I want to thank everyone who's watching. Really appreciate you guys supporting Drive Facebook Live. And until next Friday, everybody have a great week.
Hopefully.